Whoa, huge celebration day. Feeling you with Vic the Brick. Bend but don't break, Bamboo Man. And PJ right here. I see the bamboo behind you, Victor, the swaying, the celebration for the teams we picked. We did pick Seattle, both of us, to win this thing. And it happened. It happened.
The bamboo epitomizes the amazing, resilient journey of Sam Darnold, the quarterback of quarterbacks in the National Football League, because you become the best quarterback when you win the Super Bowl. He wasn't great. He wasn't spectacular. He did enough. And once again, Sam Darnold, no turnovers. He had no turnovers throughout the playoffs. And
Clean.
that was the key.
Yeah.
And Sam managed the game beautifully, understood New England's defense. Let's face it, they played well in the first half. It was only with 9-0. They took away NSN. He was not a factor in this game, 27 yards. But they had the wisdom to hand off to Kenneth Walker III.
Yes. The
He ran,
K-Man.
he ran
K9.
amok. He ran
Yes.
amok.
Yeah.
But PJ, this game boiled down to the most dominant defense we have seen in our recent Super Bowl time and space. The D set them free. Seattle Seahawks defense, so furious, so swarming. Uh, I was captivated by what they were able to do. Drake May was a shell of himself, and he never played well during the playoffs. People would slough that off, saying New England had a chance in hell of winning this game.
Yeah.
A lot of experts came back and picked New England. I don't know why. On paper, Seattle was a superior team in every phase of the game,
Yep.
and he had no shot. That defense was incredible. 6 sacks. He had nowhere to run to, nowhere to hide. This was an amazing defensive effort. I know they gave the MVP to Kenneth Walker Jr. for 135 rushing, 27 passing yards for Kenneth Walker, but I would have given the MVP, PJ, to the defensive unit of the Seattle Seahawks. They deserved the MVP because they controlled this game.
I 1,000% agree with you. I mean, I thought the K9, as they call him, Kenneth Walker, amazing, did great, even would have had another bigger. He would have had over 155 yards. They called back that one touchdown. But all that being said, it was defense. This was a defensive game. They swarmed, they controlled, they didn't allow the Pats to do anything they wanted to do. I mean, from start to finish, they just completely dominated them, and that award should have gone to the defense, and rightly so. But I think Sam Donald kind of made that clear as he held it up at the end. And he said, "This is for the defense, and it's their game." And Sam Donald played a great game, and he should get his comeuppance because he did great, and he's earned it. That guy's been bounced around, as we know, like a pool ball. So to have him win was fantastic. To have Kenneth Walker shine in that sole role as their running back and to have that defense play like it did was just beautiful. My only thought in it was, and you and I both picked Seattle to win. I thought I expected a closer game, but I also, as we talked about, expected um, Drake May to do exactly what he did. That was crumble under the pressure of a Super Bowl. And you can't blame him. He's a second year quarterback, never been in that situation before, having his troubles even in the playoffs. And then to get to that level, just the media pressure alone, not to mention everything else, is just overwhelming for these guys. And to be 23 years old in that position, he had a great year. You know, uh, we just knew he was going to not be able to take that and crumble in the end like he did. But all that being said, great year for the Pats, for Coach of the Year, Vrabel. He gets to take that home. And it was a fun game to watch, but honestly, at halftime when I left because of that show, um, and when I came back, I expected the Pats to actually change. I was expecting them to go quicker, Vic. Go, start no huddling, start running Drake May more. They didn't do any of that until the fourth quarter with about 9 minutes left. They did a little of it and they were successful. But that to me was the most astonishing thing that Vrabel and his team of coaches didn't correct that because they could have made an impact. That was their only chance. Change the timing of the game, get Drake May running. Why didn't they do it?
It was unbelievable to me that their offense was so stagnant. But when you are facing a defense, that front four was so ferocious and so suffocating that they really had no shot, no matter what they did. Their only shot, you're right, PJ, was get the ball out quickly, have them scramble, throw quick screen passes or
Yep.
in the flat, something to alter the rhythm of the game because for their
Yeah.
first nine possessions, they ate where they punted. Uh, it was you could see they were not moving the football against this record breaking defense. 12 was one. Seattle's defense, I just can't get over. I love defense. I played linebacker in the streets of New York, so that was my position. And I saw Jones was unbelievable. He had 11 tackles.
Oh,
The middle linebacker for Seattle was former Ram, by the way.
beautiful.
There were a couple of former Rams, Cooper Kupp, of course, another former
Cooper.
Ram, had a nice day with 6 catches. But it's all about the defense. Jones was unbelievable. Witherspoon was unbelievable. Uh,
Witherspoon.
Witherspoon was well. Another former Trojan, Owusu, sensational. Had the pick six. So that play really blew it open. Witherspoon, on the blitz, strips May, balls loose, balls in the air. Owusu picks it up in the air. Incredible athletic play by Owusu, and ran it in for the touchdown. But the whole defensive unit, I mean, every play was competitive on the defensive end. They were not giving me anything easy. Everything was incredibly defense to the hills. Just New England played really good defense as well,
Yes, they did.
but still they're down 9-0, and you could see every field goal. If you're a New England Patriot fan, your heart sank because those points were so precious that Seattle picked up. And that was really the game. The defense was so unbelievably tremendous. I
Yeah.
was so impressed with their defense. Uh, and again, Sam Darnold directed the team to victory. So impressive stats. The most impressive stat for Sam Darnold, for me, again, I repeat it, no turnovers through the playoffs. And May, a couple fumbles. Again, he fumbled all through the playoffs. Couple of picks. So that was the game. Everyone said May's got the game of his life to stay with Seattle. He did not have the game of his life. He had a terrible game, but it was made possible, by that insane Seattle Seahawks defense. The Hawks defense, man. Again, I was so blown away, so impressed. And
Well,
again, PJ, for you, the ex-Trojan flavor. Congratulations, first Trojan ever to start a Super Bowl. Sam Darnold to win a Super Bowl. Sam
how about
Darnold.
that?
And you had Owusu, in
Yep.
the defensive mix. So a lot of Trojan flavor for you, PJ.
Yes, yeah, and I really enjoyed all of that. Hard to believe that Sam Darnold is the first quarterback to do that for USC. But, obviously USC's had tons of players in Super Bowls, but at that position to do that first. So yeah, that hats off there. I also want to tip my hat to the Pats backfield in Gonzalez, who
Oh,
I
Christian
thought
Gonzalez.
I thought kept them in the game through three-quarters of the game just on his own merit. He made amazing play after amazing play and really gave the Pats an opportunity, like with 9 minutes left, to still be in the game and have a shot. It was all about him. He was incredible, If there's a backup to MVP for the team that didn't win, it would be him because the plays he was making really showcased his abilities and he was fun to watch. He was actually fun to watch. So
But
hats
they,
off to him.
but you can't overcome an offensive line that had a lot of problems because they could not
Yeah.
block
Yeah.
Seattle's front four, and that was the key to the game was pressure.
That's
It's
right.
always pressure.
That's right.
Pressure equals championships. Defense equals championships. Defense creates pressure, and that was some pressure cooker, man.
Oh,
That Seattle created. Um, I've seen great defenses over the years. For me, the most dominant Super Bowl defense, I guess, since the Bears in '85, maybe. This was just a pleasure to watch. If you're a defensive addict like I am, I love D. The D sets you free, and it's
yeah. I
Seattle
tell
was
you,
just unbelievable.
if I may, because it's on my mind, I want to do it. What wasn't a pleasure to watch for me, and I'll just speak for myself, was that halftime show, which I didn't enjoy it. I didn't think it had energy. It didn't move me. I didn't understand. I wish I would have been explained a little more what was going on there because I saw people climbing telephone poles. I thought it was a T-Mobile commercial. I had no idea, honestly, what was going on. You know, I understand Bad Bunny's a great artist, but I enjoy showcase shows like, um, when Dr. Dre and had Eminem and had
No,
Lamar Jackson and had, um, I mean, Kendrick Lamar
Kendrick Lamar, yeah.
and had Mary J. Blige all on one stage, all doing their thing, For me, watching this show and they bring on Lady Gaga, and she sings a song that she should have had Bruno Mars with her if she's going to sing that song,
I
because that's
absolutely, I agree with that.
yeah,
But PJ, it was a Puerto Rico a palooza. It was homage to his
yeah.
native Puerto
Okay,
Rico,
okay. Puerto
and
Rico, Palooza. Then let Ricky Martin sing "Livin' La Vida
La Vida Loca.
Loca," and let him add some energy to the thing because that's what it was missing. It was missing energy. So if you're going to have Ricky Martin, he's Puerto Rican, and that's fantastic, and he's got maybe the biggest hit of all time. Let him sing it. Let him sing that song and bring some life to that thing. I had no energy in there. Lady Gaga gave me no energy. I mean, Bad Bunny gave the energy that he gave, but then he wanted to bring in this other spice. Well, let's spice it up. Let's have her do Poker Face or whatever song she wants to do that'll give some energy, and let Living La Vida Loca, Ricky Martin get up there and swing those hips and have some fun. Bring in Shakira. Come on. I mean, there are a million acts you can bring in for energy. If you want to set a tone and do a cultural thing, okay, I'm fantastic. That's all in. But you got to have energy. This is a halftime show for America. It's not just for a small group, it's for America. We needed to do more. We needed to make those moments bigger. You know me, I produce music,
I
television.
know.
I would
I
have
understand.
never,
I totally, I understand your point,
yeah,
but I also understand, the homage to his native Puerto Rico, devastated, by high winds, no power.
yeah.
I think that was the telephone lines,
Okay.
because Puerto Rico had no power for a while.
Yeah.
So it was basically a love song done for his native Puerto Rico. Again, I would
Yeah.
have loved to have seen Bruno Mars,
Come on.
with Lady Gaga.
You got to have
And
that.
again, Ricky Martin singing La Vida Loca would have, I think, more people may have gotten it. A lot of people didn't get it. Let's
They
face
didn't
it,
get it. They didn't get
because
it
number
because
one,
they didn't.
it's all in Espanol.
Yeah.
Everything's in Espanol. There was no, you need some English
You need
in
some English
there,
and you need to, if you're going to tell a story,
a little bit of English.
tell a story. You know what I mean? You can't hint at a story when you've got all these billions of people watching. You can't hint at a story like they were trying to tell. You have to tell the story. So how do you do it? Okay, you put in enough English so that the people that don't speak the language understand and don't understand what telephone poles maybe mean. I mean, like me, I mean, I just lived through a year ago the worst disaster ever. 6,000 homes in the Palisades, Malibu, everything gone. Um, if I told some tiny little story, maybe people wouldn't understand it. You have to tell the story about it so that everybody understands. That was not a well-told story. I'm sorry, it wasn't well produced. It was self-serving and it served a very small amount of people that maybe understood the story. Not for a general audience, not for billions of people watching. Bad, bad. Bad Bunny, great. Bad production, bad.
I would have loved to have seen a Shakira in the mix.
Oh, come on.
You know,
Fantastic.
would have been very, very cool. I mean, Gaga, again, you're right. She was not inspiring.
No.
That song is her and Bruno Mars together.
Yeah.
That makes that song resonate.
Yeah.
And listen, I love the international flavor. Always have. I've traveled the world. I've been to many different countries. Lived with the people of many different cultures. So I am simpatico with the message, that Bad Bunny wanted to evoke, but it was very difficult to do in that situation. But I understand, the bodegas, the that's basically part of his heritage growing up, the sugarcane fields, growing up. He wanted to really illuminate Puerto Rico, which he did. But again, after that, I think you have to get into a more global stance,
You have to.
and more people to embrace it and understand. It was limited. It was a beautiful performance in terms of the set to me was very stirring. I mean, to see sugarcane fields on a Super Bowl field was wild for me. To see that whole setup and the marriage proposal, there was a marriage going on. There was a lot going on. But
There's a
again,
lot going on, but an untold story. I leave it like this. We got to move on. But Gordon Ramsay, the greatest chef in the world. If you want to highlight a flavor, you highlight it. If you put in just a little bit of cinnamon, and that extracts everything and makes everything brighter and bigger. You don't put in 2 tons of it because you flood it and it just tastes like one thing. That's what happened here. It tasted like one dish. It didn't taste like you put in a little cinnamon to highlight it. No, I do taste that cinnamon a little bit, but it just excites the dish. No, this was like he poured 2 tons of cinnamon into one thing, and that's all it was about. It was they should have had Gordon Ramsay produce it. Anyway, we move on. We move on.
I
Vic,
mean, the upshot of Super Bowl 60 was a tremendous event.
yeah,
It was a tremendous event. I enjoyed Green Day playing. I thought Charlie Puth sang a beautiful anthem. I thought he was
amazing. I love Charlie Puth.
sensational.
Yeah.
Brandy Carlisle, America the Beautiful was great. Coco Jones, uh, uplifting. It was just a sensational Super Bowl. And unfortunately, uh, the game was one-sided. But if you're a Seattle fan, and I'm sure most of America bet Seattle, giving up that 4.5, and they covered, man, 29-13.
Where did
They
they
co-
cover?
they really covered. They covered the game. They covered the
Yeah.
spread. Seattle's happy. The Space Needle is rocking, and life is good in the Emerald City, PJ.
Oh, it's good. And now for the Raiders, life is good because Clint Kubiak is going to be their new head coach, and he just finished a great offensive performance with Seattle. So that's going to be fun to watch. See what he does there. Do you think they're going to trade Max Crosby? Do you think that's actually going
No,
to happen? I
no. I
hope
mean,
not.
Max Crosby is one of their studs.
Yeah.
He needs some players. Crosby had the disagreement at the end of the year because he wanted to play, and they wouldn't let him play. Basically, Max Crosby is their defensive stud.
Yeah.
And, for Fernando Mendoza, number one draft pick, to work with Kubiak. Listen, the sky's the limit when you have a brilliant offensive mind like Kubiak, and you have Mendoza, whose potential is unlimited.
It's
So
exciting.
so things look good for the Plata y Negro, the silver and black. It looks good for the Raiders moving on after last year's debacle. It was just hard to watch. It was hard to watch Pete Carroll go down like that.
Yeah.
But let's face it, these teams are so fascinating. Seattle, and New England, because they didn't make the playoffs last year.
No.
Neither of those two teams were in the playoffs. Even though
Believe it
Seattle
or
won
not.
10 games, they didn't make the playoffs. New England, what won 4 games last year. So it just shows you one year you can turn it around the NFL. So 31 teams have got to be filled with hope and optimism.
Oh, I think so. I think look for a big year for Chicago again. I think you might find Chicago further along than they were this year. I
And,
think
and what this proved, PJ, was the Los Angeles Rams were the second best team in the National Football League.
right.
They were at least close to Seattle.
Yeah.
They played Seattle tough for three games of the season.
Yep.
Beat them once, lost twice. Uh, so the second best team in the NFL was the Los Angeles Rams.
Right.
So they have something to look forward to. Matthew Stafford, MVP. Uh, they'll
Yeah.
compete with Seattle next year.
Oh, yeah.
Stafford coming back. So that's very interesting. And how about Rams 49ers in Australia? They scheduled
I
the
love
first
that.
ever NFL game in Australia. So there was some news coming out, but that was fun. But the whole Super Bowl week in San Francisco Bay Area, I'd have to say a complete success for the region, for the league, and for the fans.
And for the fans. It was really fun and can't wait the countdown. We're already counting down to this coming season, which will be happening in August. We'll be right back into it. We'll have our draft for our fantasy league. We'll go all in. I won by the way, I won my league.
Oh, well done.
Thank you. I'm so happy.
Congratulations.
Yeah, won my league. How about
Oh,
that?
well done, PJ.
And who was my quarterback?
Sam
Stafford?
Darnold.
No, Stafford.
Oh, well, Matthew was unbelievable.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
what, 46 touchdowns?
Yep.
Just an incredible year.
Had
And
a
he's
year.
coming, and he's coming back, with the gang.
Yep.
So Seattle's got to be favored going into next year's, uh, season because they were so overwhelmingly
Yep.
tremendous. So it'll be a fun year. But again, optimism should abound for
Oh,
the other 31 teams because, hey, both these teams, again, failed to make the playoffs last year. So what turnarounds?
what turnaround?
Yes, for both the Seahawks and the Patriots. So
But
again,
Vic, what about a turnaround for the Lakers? Is that going to happen? Are they gonna get into it? I mean, are we going to see them as a fifth or sixth place team all year? Is that it? Is that
you know,
it?
I love the Kennard pickup. They
Yeah.
finally, after 20 years, figured it out. We need a long distance shooter. For years they can't shoot from the perimeter. I
No.
can't tell you. It must be so frustrating. Laker fans for years have been screaming, "We need an outside shooter. We
Right.
need an outside." They finally pick up Kennard, but this should have been done years ago. This
Yeah.
has been their Achilles heel for so many years. They
Yeah.
can't shoot.
They
They're a
can't.
horrific shooting team. But Kennard can shoot, so I like that. That's going to help them. Yeah, they're a 5 seed. They're right there with Denver. They're right there with Houston. I think they're tied with Houston at this point, even as we podcast right now.
Yeah.
But where they are is where they should be. And Austin Reeves came back, and he was tremendous. He had a
Tremendous.
35-point game,
Yeah.
making things happen, distributing the basketball. And now Luke is out with a bad hamstring. I say just let him rest through the All-Star break. Don't bring
Yeah.
him back. But the Lakers have potential to maybe win a playoff series. I'm seeing potential now with Kennard opening up. I thought that was a tremendous pickup. It was very under the radar. Not while the Clippers blow up their team, the Lakers pick up Kennard, and maybe they win a playoff series. Maybe they beat Houston. Can they beat an Oklahoma City at this point? No, but maybe they win a playoff series, PJ.
Yeah. Maybe. Well, I guess we'll see. It's a big maybe. What happened to the Clippers? I mean, why did they blow their team up?
It's a great question because they were playing the best basketball in the NBA for the last 25,
Yeah.
30 games.
Yeah. I'm perplexed.
Well, I hated it that the Beard left, number
Yeah.
one. Basically, it came down to contract. The Beard wanted a big extension, a major extension, and this Clipper said, "No, we're not going to give you a jumbo extension." So the Beard said, "Well, let's work out a deal where I can leave. I don't want to leave you guys in a lurch. I don't want to leave you guys empty. Let's make a deal where you can benefit from my leaving, and I can get an extension somewhere and play for a contender." Which James did going to Cleveland. Cavaliers are now a threat
Oh yeah.
because you got Mitchell and James together in the backcourt. That's the East just got a new contender with the Cleveland Cavaliers. The team is really crazy,
Yeah.
crazy hot, getting James Harden. But yeah, then they gave up, Zubac, who was always a solid center, just a solid piece of your team.
Yeah.
And what they get back, they got back a guy with a chronic toe injury and Metherin from Indiana, who can be good, but and they got draft picks, they got assets, but they're starting anew. And now Kawhi scoring 40 points a game. They continue to win though, the Clippers, which is really odd,
It's odd.
considering they blew up the team. They just beat Minnesota in Minnesota. Uh, so it's amazing. The NBA is very odd this year.
Yeah.
And the
It,
Clippers
it,
are
it really is.
very a strange bunch, but they're playing defense. T. Lue is an excellent coach. I've been saying that since day one.
Yeah.
But yeah, they blew up the team. PJ basically give up Harden.
But was
Zubac.
it time, Vic, was it time to blow up your team when you're on the kind of roll that they've been on? Was it really the time to sit down and say, we got to get rid of these guys? To me, it makes no sense. It's like, why are you playing for next year or the year after when you're actually in it this year? You're actually showing some momentum. You've got some stuff going on, you know? It doesn't make sense. It just doesn't.
Well, the best they were doing, they were a ten seed, a
Yeah.
play-in 10 seed. So where are you going with that? But they were playing good basketball. But
Yes.
James Harden was not going to make a deal with them.
No.
They were not going to pay James, and James wanted to be paid, and he found a new home in Cleveland. And I'm not sure what's going to come back in terms of draft assets, but yeah, they're rebuilding. At
Hmm.
least they have a direction now.
I
I,
guess.
I thought they had direction before.
That's what I thought.
I thought that they were playing really good ball. But if you have an unhappy James Harden,
Yeah.
you had to move him. The Zubac move really threw me for a loop. Why trade, a very solid young center who's been solid for years? Why trade that piece? But that to me was weird.
Yeah.
So for the Clippers, really, for trading Zubac,
Come
I
on.
understand you couldn't make a deal with the beard,
Please.
but for trading Zubac, you
Yeah.
see the brick,
There it
you see
is.
it.
Get it.
You freak the dog me, you.
I love it.
I love Zubac.
I love Zubac too. I love the beard. Everybody's gone.
You got
The
Kawhi, got the
momentum's
claw.
gone.
You're left with the claw.
The
You're
claw.
left with the claw.
Oh my God.
Kawhi Leonard and friends.
Yeah,
And,
I
and
don't.
what's with Jackson Hayes of the Lakers? I mean, suspended a game, PJ, for mugging the Washington Wizards mascot. What's he thinking?
By the
Who?
way,
What's Jackson Hayes thinking?
mascots are for the fans. They're for the fan. Leave them alone. Just let the mascot be the mascot. Why get involved in that? Put yourself on the bench uh, with Anthony Davis if he was there. Why do that?
Oof.
Why do that? I mean, there's no reason for it. It made no sense. And another thing, it's kind of a confusing week, Vic, with that and with the Clippers blowing their team up. I mean, it's kind of confusing within the basketball world.
But what's clear? Let me be muy claro for you, some
Please
clarity.
clarify it.
Jackson Hayes, what are you thinking, man?
Oh, please.
To lose yourself for a game for getting rough with a mascot, as an innocent mascot is doing his job, trying to entertain. Jackson Hayes, you see the brick. You
There it
see
is.
it, Jackson.
There it is.
You freak.
Get rough with that.
Dog me, you. Jackson, what are you thinking?
Whatever he's thinking it on the bench. So that was ugly. That was ugly. No reason for that. Stay away from mascots in general. All players, leave the
Is
mascots
Anthony
alone.
Davis a mascot now? I mean, he's
Well,
now dumped on the Washington Wizards. What a career spiral. I mean, this guy was one of the greatest players in the NBA just, a few years ago. Of course, beset by injuries. The worst trade in basketball history, of course,
yeah,
Luka, AD. But look at that trade now. PJ, Anthony Davis is now, in hoop hell.
hoop hell.
Washington, the Wizards. That's where you go to stay. Where you're going. You're going into an abyss when you go to Washington. But Anthony Davis was one of the premier players in the National Basketball Association,
Oh,
and
Premier is right.
and
Premier.
incredible rim protector, great scorer, won a championship with the Lakers in the bubble. But now
Oh,
look at that trade. Look at that trade for the Dallas Mavericks. Luckily they have Cooper Flag, but they will not be contending for
oh,
years. I mean, that trade was just horrendous. Now it's Max Christie for Luka Doncic and a draft pick. That's what it is now. With AD now
isn't that
in
wild?
Houston, that's what Dallas got for one of the premier players
That's
in the
why.
association, Luka Doncic.
That's why
They
Dallas
got Max
had the
Christie and
clean
a draft pick.
house. Yeah.
Max Christie and a draft pick.
It's laughable. I'm sorry you have to laugh. But anybody that didn't know the background of Anthony Davis when he was with the Lakers deserves what they got. The whole front office of Dallas deserved what they got. And now the Wizards, for some reason, some unknown reason, picked up Anthony Davis, got him over there. He's not going to play. He'll play a few games and he'll sit out. I mean, his nickname is Street Clothes. He
Yeah,
is not going anywhere. The guy, great talent with no motivation. We've seen guys like this before. Great talent, no motivation, happy to sit on the bench and look studly, and he does.
and make $40 million a year.
Yeah, yeah, not bad. I mean, okay, if you can pull it off, more power to you, buddy. But you know what? You're cue balling down, and now you're with the Washington Wizards, which is where the great Michael Jordan ended up with.
That's right.
He kept going and going and going, and ended up as a washout with the Washington Wizards.
Oh man, we go to Washington.
Yeah, that's the end.
I feel for the brow, though. I do. I feel for the brow. I feel for Anthony Davis because that's a spiral, from ecstasy to agony.
Yeah,
I hope he can come back. I hope he can get healthy.
I hope
Speaking
so.
of health, on a sidebar, PJ, how is your doggy Arrow? How is Arrow feeling?
Oh, thank you so much for asking. She is better. We had to take her. Um, she has seizures because of the breed. The Australian Shepherds are known for this. So we had an imaging done. We had a spinal tap done. Everything came back very normal.
Oh, great.
All good. So yeah, thank God she's looking very good. I appreciate you asking, but you know, it is what it is. That breed is high anxiety and they do have some issues. I didn't know that. My kids wanted the breed. I'm a German Shepherd guy and they deal with their own issues with hips and stuff, but you can breed out of that. This Australian Shepherd thing, you need to know going in, everybody. If you get one of those dogs, they're fantastic. They're Velcro dogs. They stick with you. They're the sweetest things in the world,
Oh,
but they can have some problems. So you just need to know that. But we're all good. Arrow's doing great. Thank you
was
for
it
asking.
was everyone watching the Westminster Dog Show?
Yes, of course. My mom is painted to that channel with my sister. They sit there and watch that. I thought there was a Super Bowl going on of puppy dogs because they were just like painted to the screen watching that.
Oh man, that Doberman was unbelievable.
Beautiful.
Winning Best in Show. Congratulations to the Doberman.
Yeah.
I had a beautiful Doberman for about 10 years. Basil loved Yuko so much, put up with
Oh,
me,
yeah.
but loved my Doberman. What a great dog! What a great breed.
Yeah.
So congratulations to the Doberman, the Dobie for winning Best in Show.
Yes. Yeah. Great, great show. A lot of fun. Congratulations to us for making it through the Super Bowl. And we have a whole year now. We're going to take off. We want you to share our video, share our screen, share everything. Tell everybody about our show. We've got lots to talk about coming up. We got the Dodgers. We got everybody. We got baseball. It's going to be fun. The Lakers, the whole thing.
And I just want to end with the Dodgers showing their benevolence. Sasaki, their brilliant young pitcher, wanted a bidet in the locker room. He was used to using a bidet, for his hygiene. And the Dodgers did not vacillate. They bought him a bidet, and Sasaki is happy, and life is good. If you're a
Huh?
Dodger fan, if they go for the three-peat, spring training is coming. Spring training is coming, PJ.
And the Golden Bidet Award goes to Sasaki.
Sasaki gets it, man, with the beautiful Toto toilets, the greatest toilets of all time.
Oh, they're power toilets.
The
All right,
best.
my friends. Thank you, Victor. Great job as always. Thank you to Chris Donovan, our amazing producer, who's right now he's drunk celebrating the Seattle victory.
Congratulations,
Oh
Chris,
my
on your
God.
great victory with the
Great,
Seahawks.
great victory.
Yuko Sakamoto, my beloved bride on the gongs.
Yes, yeah.
You know,
Dave
getting me up,
Cardone.
propping me up, and doing our thing. Dave
Yep.
Cardona, graphics master.
Yep.
Thank you to everyone. Thank you to you for tuning in on any port you can find us. Of
Yes.
course, YouTube, uh, anywhere.
Everyone. Every,
Everyone, we're right there
just,
for you.
yep.
Feeling You with Victor Brick Jacobs and PJ. Feeling You.